this is an important day for me, a special day. And there's a whole long list of people I'm really grateful to. To begin with the universe, which has supported me all through, my parents, my family, my in-laws, my friends like Ramakant, Ananda and Priya, who've been with me all the while, all the time. My teachers who have led me all through my life, my yoga teachers, mostly to my dance and my yoga training itself, and my audience who have been with me throughout. This little book, Kaivalya itself means, as Ananda said, as Ramakant said, ultimate freedom, according to Patanjali. Ultimate freedom as in when you are able to see an object, perceive an object or a concept in its purest form, when it comes across to you in its purest form and you enjoy it, that joy that is created is Kaivalya. In our dance language, we call it Rasanishpati. Rasanishpati, which you usually experience during the practice sessions, and you come on to the stage and you share it with the audience. What is it that you take back from a good performance? That is Kaivalya or joy. In this book, I'll just talk a little bit about it that involves some demonstration. In this book, I have drawn this parallel between Ashtanga Yoga of Patanjali and Kuchipudi dance, because that's the dance form I have learned. The Ashtanga Yoga of Patanjali, as the word is self-explanatory, is the 8 limbs of yoga. Interestingly, the first one is Yama, or social responsibility, which is a part of our Natya Sangraha group, our social discipline, he calls. How is social discipline relevant to a dancer? In our view, it is the dancer who is so directly connected to society. Minus the society, any amount of knowledge, any amount of reading and perfection in dance itself has no, it doesn't take fruit. There is no fruit about it unless the society sees it and enjoys it. And the dancer is giving to the society in its purest form. Yama, Niyama is personal discipline, which is a basic need for every dancer. Now let's go to the asana part. I'll do this very quickly. Asana means physical postures, as we know. And that's what we usually think yoga is. Yoga is asanas practice, but that's just 1/8 of the comprehensive yoga. All these 8 limbs put together is yoga, really. How does physical, that's my son, I'm sorry about that. Totally oblivious to his surroundings. Okay. Now, asana, physical posture. How does it apply itself to dance? Dance itself is a string of postures knit together to rhythm. I'll show you a very small piece. This is something everybody knows, but just as a demonstrative piece where we do nritta. I'm not delving too much into it because this book doesn't talk so much about asana. It talks more about the mental clarity that one needs to be a dancer who enjoys her own dance. I will not talk about acclaim. And the mental clarity that one gains by dancing, by practicing dance right. Let's do a small jati, a pure dance piece, which you will see requires a lot of the physical exercise that goes into it. Comes in pranayama. I'll talk about pranayama also now, because you will notice pranayama is the expansion of breath. You will notice how important breath is, not only for stamina, but also to maintain the mental stability and balance. Also to portray the character right. I was talking about pranayama. you will see me gasping like this. This gasping is where the breath is actually supposed to be controlled. There is this disturbance or a variation in breath when we dance. What happens? Is it the practice of pranayama that helps the dancer with stamina? Or is it the practice of dance that elongates the breath of the dancer? Maybe both. But then, that happens only if the practice of dance is done right. Let's go a little further and see the larger uses of pranayama in dance. Asana, pranayama, and pratyahara, the next one, is the withdrawal of senses.